Good afternoon. My name is Neil Raker and I'm an application engineer with Xair Corporation. Today I'm going to talk to you about our summing remote display, the installation procedure for it, and also the setup. The summing remote display consists of the display itself connected to 50 feet of cable. You also receive two mounting screws which work through the flanges on the top and bottom of the electronics box. And you also receive a installation and maintenance guide. Also, you will use for installation a set of pliers, needle nose pliers, a small Phillips head screwdriver, and also a small regular screwdriver. Okay, we're going to begin the installation procedure. The first thing that I want to show you is that we have a digital flow meter mounted to a 1-inch iron pipe, schedule 40. This is model 9092 digital flow meter. The first step in the process is to remove the 4 screws that retain the cover onto the body of the housing. I've already loosened them up with my Phillips screwdriver, so I'm just going to lift that up, set it off to the side. That exposes the top circuit board inside the box. You want to grab it just like this, give it a little pull, and set it out to the side. The ribbon connector will hold it up, no problem. Second part in the process is to take one of the plugs out of the side of the housing. These are have a screw thread to them. You simply unscrew it counterclockwise, remove the plug, and you want to replace it with the wire retainer that came with the digital flow meter when you receive that. That screws right into the same opening. Now what we do is we insert the wire through the wire retainer and grab them on the inside, and then this little rubber grommet, we want to shove that into the basket onto the wire retainer. Gives a little bit of bite, and then there is the back end which screws on just like that, and we're ready to go. The wire is secured, it's not going to move anywhere. The next step in the procedure is to connect the wires to the circuit board itself. The first wire we want to connect is going to be the clear wire, which we want to connect that to the S terminal on the display shown on the circuit board. For connecting these wires and handling them, I'm going to use a set of needle nose pliers. Grab the wire, shove it down into its corresponding binding post. Tighten the binding screw down. Finally, we would install the DC positive, which is the red wire, onto the DC positive post on the binding. Tighten the binding post down. Now let's grab this and make sure that we've got a good tight connection. And let's replace the top circuit board. Snaps back down in there. And you replace the cover and retighten the screws. Okay, the next thing that I want to show is how to switch between the different operating modes or display modes for the digital remote display. You can power the digital remote display from this end, and it will backfeed to the digital flow meter as well. Now, in order to change a display mode, you do have to power the units down. And there is a small button on the bottom of the housing that you want to press before you power it up, and it will show the letter P with 3 different modes, P0, P1, or P2. P0 will show you the mode that is duplicated at the digital flow meter. P1 is a daily usage mode, which will give you the usage in thousands of standard cubic feet during the most recent full 24-hour recording period. And then the P2 will give you the cumulative usage mode, which will give you a value in thousands of standard cubic feet. Now, I have this set for the daily usage mode, which will show you 2 dashes on the display of the remote display only. until it actually gets a full 24 hours worth of data. Once it does that, it will put out a display for the usage for that previous 24 hours. The last thing I want to show you is that you can actually control the where the decimal point shows up in the readout, so you can change your resolution. So again, as you press the button, you power up the remote display and the digital flow meter, and you get the P1, 0, 1, or 2. I'm going to set it to P0 for the duplicated, and then in a couple seconds you're going to see a decimal point. And as I press the button on the bottom of the housing, I can change the location of the decimal point to change the resolution of the readout. All right, now what I'm going to do is just run some compressed air through this pipe and allow you to see how the flow rate changes on both of the readouts. Okay, that concludes my presentation on the summing remote display for the digital flow meter. My name is Neil Raker. If you have any questions, please give us a call at 1-800-903-9247 or by email at techhelp@xair.com.